Hello, I am here. Welcome to TMI with Sergia Starr, the Mentor's Insight. And today's mentor is Seth Reynes. Seth, tell us what you do.
Well, a short version of the long one. I speak to people about navigating transgender challenges and trying to shift perspectives. I think this is a hot topic that shouldn't be hot, but unfortunately this is where it's at, and one day I hope to speak myself out of a living, because that means I've done my job. I basically try to educate, I would say, my generation, because they're the generation that needs the education most, the younger generation, because the internet understands more than the older generation.
Yes.
We have to understand that there are hundreds of thousands, maybe millions at this point, transgender people. They've been around for a long time. It's only seems like it became an issue because it's now everywhere on all types of press, whether it's good press or bad press, it's out there. And what I'm trying to do is correct misconceptions, explain about the transgender person, explain why it's important for young kids to transition early so that they can be they can align in their correct body and live the life they're meant to live. Pretty much for a trans child, they could come out to their parents when they're very young or at an older age. There's no definite age when that happens. But now that people know where there are places to go, I think the parents aren't frustrated. They can take their kids to places that will monitor them if they're younger. They're not going to do anything. They won't be on hormones or any type of surgery till they're way into their teens and 20s. But at least they're on the right track. And this is for parents that are on board. Unfortunately, there are many parents that aren't on board. And trans kids, I caution them not to come out in their family if they know that they'll be kicked out. Because 43% of the LGBT community is homeless. And 40% of that are transgender kids.
Wow, that's really an interesting thing for you to say, because I understand that you're worried about them being homeless, but which one would be better, to live in your truth and just struggle, being homeless for a while, or just finding a community where they could give them shelter, maybe
that's
find
easier said than done, but there are some. But I would suggest for kids to wait till they get out of high school. Wait till they have some kind of, if it's a home life that's not bad, because look, at right away you lose the roof over your head, you lose the food, you lose your financial support, whatever that may be from your parents. Because once they're 18, they can do what they want anyway. But at least they've graduated high school, and maybe they're going to college, or they've got some kind of career going.
Because the last thing you want,
the last thing you want to do is put more burden on yourself.
That makes sense.
To make the journey of transitioning, if that's what you decide to do, harder. So I encourage them to stay home, or maybe they can go to an uncle or aunt's house, because maybe their parents may not be on board, but somebody else in the family could be. Most kids are smart enough to know what they can and can't say in their family. They know that. So that's part and part. The whole thing.
Yes. The work that I like to do with children is for them to live their dreams and live in their greatness, and to just setting goals, higher education, and to just focus on a prosperous life, a happy life, And I know that
it's not a dress rehearsal.
It's not a dress rehearsal, guys. It's real. And so I really, now that you do say it in that way, of course we have to be smart about doing things, and who do we tell and when do we tell, and I guess make sure you get out when it's the right time to get out.
Right, and if the kids are on board, it's great. I try to educate the schools, because they're sometimes the first tier that a child will go through, is maybe a school counselor or a teacher or a psychologist, whatever the schools have. And kids know too as well if their school is inclusive or if they're LGBT friendly. If they're not, again, that's not a place either. It just depends on where they're located in the world or in the country. So there are many places online. They can go to pflag.org, which is pflag.org, to find support. There is also hrc.org, humanrightscampaign.org. There's NCTE, that's the National Center for Transgender Equality.org. There are many, many organizations if you Google it.
I will have those links
Right.
below for anyone who's interested in learning more and getting the help that they need.
Exactly.
Okay,
Exactly.
so,
And
yes.
and the last thing I would say, there's something called the Trans Lifeline.
Okay.
Which is a suicide line, you know,
Yes,
for kids to call,
yes.
and it's manned by transgender people.
Awesome.
So that's
Okay.
really good as well.
And which is, I went to a school, and what they're dealing with now is just suicide in high schools. And, you know, we want our children to live. We really love you. We really want you to live. You are our future. And we want you to be happy to live in your greatness. Thank you, Seth, so much for
Thank you for
this
having
time.
me.
Thank you for, you know, spreading the word out and giving that small token of advice to them, which I don't think, you know, they knew, or I don't know if they have that. So everyone
Absolutely.
out there, I love you. God bless.
Enjoy your holidays.
Enjoy your holidays. Happy New Year, and God bless. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. So where you heading back?